Do you host a golf outing or are you thinking about it? You want to maximize the revenue for this golf tournament. Are you ready for some new ideas? Maybe some old ones and how to make them better? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Immordino and welcome to another GTAA webinar. For over 30 years, we've had the opportunity to work with thousands of tournament planners around the world, and we hear what works and we hear what doesn't work. So our job, our mission is to bring that information to you, to share with you ideas on how you can produce the best golf outing possible. So we're excited that you could join us today. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to cover today the top 10 ways to generate revenue. We've got none of these you've probably have not heard of before, but we're going to talk about how do we maximize them. So thanks for joining us. And remember, this call will be recorded and you'll be able to share it with all your folks. And also, it will be available online on our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about some things that you might be aware of, but we're going to talk about how to maximize them, such as donations, mulligans, raffle, games and contests, golfers, award ceremony, Calcuttas, appeal, auction, and sponsors. We're going to go in depth about how to maximize each one of those. So take lots of notes, bring the rest of the committee in, and let's get rolling. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel because we do these webinars once a week, and we want you to be aware of all the new topics that we're going to be discussing. So let's get into our webinar. What are the top 10 revenue streams and how do we maximize them? Well, first of all, step number one is to make sure that you have a strong set foundation. You can have all the ideas in the world, but if your foundation is not set, you're not going to maximize these revenues. So it's important that you remember some of these things and tweak them if they haven't been done yet, and make sure that you're ready to raise the maximum amount of money. Number one, I would encourage you to have an official nonprofit organization, 501c3, which enables you to not have to pay taxes, but also others can donate and sponsor and write that off. So make sure that your foundation is set and that people are aware of that. A lot of folks try to put on golf tournaments that aren't an official 501c3, and they get a lot of pushback. A lot of folks saying, well, is this tax deductible? So if you're not a 501c, think about getting that done. Or two, maybe you want to partner with somebody who already is and let the money flow through that. Number two, have a clear mission statement. You want to make sure that everyone knows exactly what you're all about and what you're doing. So make sure that you have a clear mission statement, whatever that might be, helping kids, helping the elderly, raising scholarships, curing cancer. Make sure it's clear what you do and also what you're going to do with that money. It's also very important that people know what you're going to do with specifically with that money that they're giving you. They don't want to know that it's going to administration, salaries, office rent, lights. Have a specific, clear picture and goal of where that money's going. Also, I encourage you to have a good, solid board of directors. It can't be you and your brother-in-law because, again, that doesn't give you the credibility that you need. Make sure you have a good, credible board of directors, people who are well known in your industry, well known in your demographics, well known in your community. So create that board of directors and get them involved. Very important as you get involved with this, any outings, not just your golf tournament. Have a good upgraded website. You're not real these days unless you have a website, and really not that expensive, but make sure it's updated, make sure that all the functions are working, make sure that all the pictures are clear, make sure the links are working. If your website is not clean and sharp, remember that's the face of your organization, that's the storefront of your organization. So if your website is not professional looking, you don't look professional. So make sure that that's working great and all the buttons work and all the functions, especially the registration function, the donation function. People want to be able to enter payment with credit card or maybe a direct deposit. There's also PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. There's so many ways to collect money these days. Make sure that you can collect money in many different ways. If you're doing an event, especially a golf tournament, make sure you have your committee in place. Not just one or two people, but a full-blown committee. If you've watched any of our other webinars, you know who needs to be on your committee and what those roles are. If not, feel free to jump on the golf tournament channel on YouTube and look what those responsibilities are. But make sure that you have a good volunteer committee of 9 to 12 people. Make sure that your promotion and marketing is working. There's a whole lot of ways to promote and market your events, your golf tournament. Ensure that those are all in place so that you can maximize your revenue, your database of your golfers, your database of your participants, your database of your potential sponsors. Make sure they're all aware of what you're doing through your marketing and promotion. Social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, however you're promoting your event, LinkedIn, make sure that those all look professional and are created with links back to your website. So again, you look like a well-organized machine, professional. People would rather deal with a professional organization. Make sure that your PR is in place. Your press releases are going out. You have a list of media in the area that you want to make sure that's going on. But most importantly, set the foundation of your organization. Get your people in place, get your marketing in place so that when it comes to these money stream ideas, you're maximizing that income. So what are those areas of money revenue? How do you generate money, and what are the top ways, the top 10 ways to be specific? Well, first of all, let's talk about donations. Donations are simply something that people give to you. It could be money, it could mean services, it could be gifts. There's a whole array of things that they could give to you. Donations are very, very important, and you want to be able to accept any and all of those donations. Cash, obviously, through the website is great. Take gifts all year round, because you never know when you can use those gifts. Maybe it's for a tournament, maybe it's for an auction, maybe it's for some type of other raffle that you're doing throughout the year. But make sure that you're collecting gifts all year round. Services, don't disregard the intangibles. Maybe someone wants to offer you advertising. Maybe someone can give you construction services on your office, whether it's dry cleaning services, attorney services. Take all of those donations and put them in gift certificates. And again, you can use them not just for your golf tournament, but for any other events that you've got coming up. Also, make sure that all the ways that people can donate are on your website. We talked earlier about the way you collect money. Make sure that you're collecting money in all these ways so that that makes it easy, makes it accessible on your website. And again, these things can be used not just for your golf tournament. So I would take an inventory. I'd have your committee and your board and your volunteers collecting stuff all year round. Keep an inventory, keep a warehouse. Make sure you keep track of this stuff, because you never know when you're going to need it. So keep track of all these donations, whether it's gifts, prizes, money, and then you can utilize it what best serves your organization. On your website, in your correspondence, in your promotion, tell them where it's going. Again, make sure it's clear that you have a specific purpose for all these donations. People think they're just giving just to give. They may not give you as much, but if they know that's maybe for a scholarship, maybe $5,000 for a scholarship, someone may just write you a check for the whole thing. So make sure that that's clear on all your correspondence and on your website. Show them that specific goal. Make sure that they understand that it is tax deductible, whether it's tangibles or intangibles. And also, if you have some donor who wants to offer matching funds, make sure that's clear so that they know if they give $100, it's actually going to be $200 because of matching funds. You know, people think of whole sponsors as sponsorship, and they're really not. They're really just a donation. So you can take as many of those as you want. You can have 1, 2, or 3 sponsors on a whole, but those are really just donations. So think about those signs. But those are the main ways that people are going to donate. So make sure you have everything on track and take anything all the time, all year round. The next big revenue stream for golf tournaments is mulligans. Mulligans, if you do not know, are simply a do-over. You're selling an opportunity to hit the ball again. So there's several ways to do this, but you want to maximize those mulligan sales. I wouldn't really encourage you to sell too many because it gives the perception that people are trying to buy the tournament. If you have unlimited mulligans, then people will buy 100 and they can just buy the tournament. And you don't want to. You want to give other people a chance to think they have an opportunity to win. Typically, mulligans go between $5 and $10, depending on your demographic group. I would encourage package deals, maybe three for 10, 5 for 20, that type of thing. And you want to consider making these available online in advance. A lot of times we're trying to scramble at registration and sell these mulligans, which is fine last minute, but you'll be much better served if you think about selling these as a package deal online, people buying in advance with their credit card, and it just really streamlines the process. But you'll still want to sell them at registration. You still want to have a sign there. You still want your volunteers trained on how to sell those. Don't let anybody get by who hasn't bought mulligans if you're selling them. You don't want to just sell them at registration either. You want to think about sending a volunteer out and about. Maybe at the turn, people have played 9 holes, they've already used their mulligans. Remind them they can buy more. That's always a big extra moneymaker. Maybe you could increase the price and sell a few more. A lot of people, when they sell mulligans, they sell these little red raffle tickets that the golfers put in their pocket. Well, those are frustrating because there's no way to hold those golfers accountable. So what I like to see is when you sell a mulligan, you sell a balloon. Every time they buy a mulligan, they blow up a balloon. You put it on their cart, and then every time they use a mulligan, they have to pop a balloon, and that shows how many they have left. That shows how many they've used. This really eliminates a lot of the cheating that's going to go on out there, which golfers will cheat and use more mulligans than they buy. So that's kind of the story about mulligans. Great revenue source. You can make, a couple $1,000s with those. The next one is the raffle. The raffle is a great way to raise money, especially with golf tournaments. Golfers love winning stuff. And a raffle is just simply a way to sell a ticket, sell a number, and get a gift. And there's many ways to do that, whether you throw all those tickets in one big barrel and pull those tickets throughout the tournament at the end. But you can also do it where you have specific prizes where people will throw their ticket in a bowl, which allows them to try to win a specific gift. And that's a great way to do it if you've got some good, worthwhile gifts. I like to make sure that everyone, tries to be a winner. We try to make everyone a winner. Everyone walks away with something. So you want to promote this raffle properly. You want to list all those gifts on your website in all of your correspondence. I even like to have in your rule sheet all those raffle prices so people know what they're buying. A lot of times people will miss registration or miss checking in. They'll go right to their cart and they won't get that opportunity. So you want to make sure that you have volunteers out running around selling raffle tickets. Make sure there's a list of all the items promoted on your website. You even want to put a poster board, maybe one big billboard showing all those raffles. Educate your volunteers on what those gifts are, so when they're out selling these raffle tickets, I would have as many items as possible, but be careful not to have over 50 or 60 because then that gets really drawn out. But anything under $100 could be put into that raffle. And then one big item for the grand prize, maybe a motorcycle or a television, something big so that people will pay a little extra. If you have all small items, they're only going to pay $1 a raffle ticket. But if you have a bigger item, they'll pay 10, 15, 20 bucks for those raffle tickets. And then if you have too many items, you don't want to pull all these items and all these winners at the award ceremony. That will take forever. You'll lose people. They get frustrated. So I would pull most of them while people are golfing and then post the winners on a big billboard at the award ceremony, and then have a table where they can go collect their prizes. But if you try to draw 50 winners during the award ceremony, you'll lose these people. But I would like to see you pull maybe 4 or 5 of the bigger gifts the last minute items that people are excited to win. Not all the gift baskets and rounds of golf, but maybe if you're doing some memorabilia or whatever trips in that raffle, then you can give those out during the award ceremonies and make a big deal out of it. So there's many ways to do that, but raffles are a great way to raise some money, and just do it right. Make sure you're promoting them properly. Games and contests, great way to raise money. They can be done and raise a ton of money. Now, we did a webinar a couple of weeks ago on all the different games and contests, so we're not going to go into detail today, but you have Pay the Pro, Beat the Pro, Cannon Gun, Drone Drop 1, which is where they drop a specific ball. Drone Drop 2 is where it's like a raffle. They drop a bunch of balls. You've got the gambling hole, the putting contest, hole-in-one contest, skills challenge, skins, mulligans. We mentioned selling string, close to the pin, long drive. All these are games and contests that you can make big money. And there's specific ways to make $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 per game if they're done right. So go back to our YouTube channel and watch that detailed video on games and contests, and you can see specifically how to make money with those games. Make sure that all of your volunteers, your staff, everyone's educated and informed exactly how these games work. You don't want to have too many games because it drags things out. Have worthwhile prizes for these games, and you can charge for them. And then, and every activity, every game, I would get it sponsored, whether it's the close to the pin, long drive, but that's extra exposure and connection for your sponsors. So make sure that they're promoted properly, everyone knows what's going on, and everyone knows what they can win. The next big moneymaker is what we call the Calcutta. This may be a little new for some of you, but a Calcutta is a great way to raise big money. It works really simple. You have an opportunity, whether it's the night before or a week before or even before the tournament starts, where each team gets to bid on the team that they think is going to win. Now, 99% they're going to bid on their own team, but this is a huge moneymaker where typically it's going to be $100 to $400 per team that they contribute to the pot in hopes that they win, and then you split the revenue. So, for example, let's say that it's $100 a team, you got 36 teams, you got $3,600, and half of that goes back to your organization. So, $1,500, $1,700 in your pocket. The other $1,500, $1,700 is going to be divvied up in the top three teams. So first place might be $1,000, second place might be $500, third prize would be $250, and so the team really want to work hard to win that money. But a Calcutta is a great way to raise additional money. The next big revenue stream, obviously, is golfers, and this can be a little bit tricky because people think that they can overcharge golfers in the name of the charity, but you can turn people off. So very, very important that when you're setting the price for your golfers, foursomes, and your individual golfers, that there's value there, that you're not overcharging in the name of the charity. Your goal is to fill up your tournament. So keep that price as low as possible in the beginning years of your tournament until it gets sold out, and then you can start raising the price. But if you overcharge in the beginning, you're not going to sell out, and no one's going to be happy. You'd rather sell out. And the way you sell out is keeping that price low and offering them more value. How do you offer great value? You offer a really great golf course. You give them a great killer goodie bag, a networking opportunity, food, and prizes. So there's many ways to offer value, but you don't want to overcharge for that value. You want them to feel like they're getting more than they're paid for. So I like the formula that I like to use in the beginning years is you take your expense per golfer and charge just a little bit more, maybe 10, 20% until you're sold out. So if you got golf at 75, you got food at 25, you got a gift at 25, you got a raw price of 125. Maybe you want to charge 150 in the beginning, 160, just to make sure you keep it low and you sell out. And as you grow, then you can increase that price, but grow the value at the same time. Now, this formula does not apply to pro-ams and celebrity ams. You want to make sure that you can charge a lot more, sometimes double, triple. We do a whole webinar just on pro-ams if you want, and celebrity ams if you want to take a look at that. But golfers are a big revenue stream. Don't overcharge unless you give them great value. So make sure that you're setting those prices right. The next big revenue stream is your award ceremony. I know that many of you probably don't think of your award ceremony as a revenue stream, but it is, and it can be. So I want you to consider turning your award ceremony into a party, making it something that's worth staying for. A lot of your golfers aren't going to stay because they're wore out, they're tired, but if you give them a reason to stay, they're going to stay. So you want to turn your awards ceremony into a party. Bring in some entertainment, maybe a dance floor, maybe a DJ. You can bring in magic acts and comedians and all types of fun entertainment. And then the secret here is to invite other people that didn't golf. Maybe the spouses, maybe members of your organization who are not golfers, but invite other people, charge an additional fee for your award ceremony. They'll come to a party. Now you have more people at the award ceremony. You can have more people for the raffle and for the auction, and you're making a lot more money on your award ceremony. So award ceremony can be a big, big revenue stream if you're doing it properly. The next big revenue stream is the appeal. Now, a lot of people are afraid of this segment because they're afraid to ask for more money. But trust me, if you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your cause, you're never afraid to ask for money. Now, you don't want to make it high pressure. You don't want to make it too pushy. You want to make it appealing. That's why they call it the appeal. So it's done very simply in a couple of ways. I like to see it done at the award ceremony, a short presentation, or maybe you show a 2 or 3 minute video about your organization and what you're doing and where the money's going. Then you want to bring up a couple of people who share a testimony on how they benefited from your organization. If it's kids who got a scholarship or if it's elderly who are got cured of some disease, then bring them up, share a testimony. And then thirdly, you want someone to get up there who can share the vision, share the mission, share the goal, and ask for additional money. Not pushy, not persistent, but make an envelope available at the table so that people can give additional money. You never know who's in that audience, and you never know whose heart you're going to touch. So ask for that money. Tell them where it's going, and you may have someone write you a check for 25 grand right there at the award ceremony. So the appeal is a huge revenue source. Do not forget about the appeal, and you do it on your website. Do it, put that video on your website and give people the chance to donate all year round for that. The next big money revenue stream are auctions. Auctions are seen a couple of ways, silent and live. But most people do not capitalize on this. I've seen this happen. I was just in a tournament Saturday, and they had tons of great gifts, but no one even knew about the gifts. No one even knew about the auction until they got there. So a couple of key things. I'd like to see a separate committee put together just to coordinate and work on that auction. This committee is going to be working on gifts and stuff all year round. There's a live auction and a silent auction. The key thing here is to remember, get big items, especially experiences, things that people can do. Maybe it's lunch with a celebrity or golf with an ex-athlete. So you want people that who can get all these great experiences and big items. Put these items on your website in advance. Start promoting your auction in advance. Have a separate page that lists the items and describes the items, and then start opening the auction in advance to your full database. Don't limit it just to your golfers, but let the whole world know that they can start bidding on your auction, and then you can have the grand finale at your golf tournament during the award ceremony. I encourage you to have a live auctioneer who's really good at it. You don't want to auction off all the items, but maybe the top 4 or 5 that are most exciting, so that you can, really lift up those bids and get them higher. Make sure you have someone good who can do that. I'm not saying you have to pay an auctioneer, but it wouldn't hurt because they pay for themselves. All these items need to be displayed properly, described properly, and promoted in advance. But auctions are big, big money if they're done properly. So make sure that you take a close look and put together a separate committee that can do that. The next big money maker is obviously mostly sponsors. This is the big one. But here's the problem with most charity events that we're seeing is that we're not selling sponsorships. We're selling a whole sign, which is not a sponsorship. That's a donation. People don't really even look at that. whole sign at all. So you want to, most importantly, offer these sponsors great value, a return on investment. Again, we've done a full video on just how to sell big sponsors for big money. And you want to make sure that you analyze your demographics. Who are you reaching? You turn your golf tournament into a marketing tool. You want to create great value for these sponsors so they'll give you more. Look, at the really bottom line is that they want more business. Yes, they like to give to a charity and they're going to give you a little bit, but they're going to give you a lot more if you give them a reason to give you a lot more. In other words, give them a return on investment and they'll give you more money. Typically, sponsors like a 4-to-1 return. If they give you $1, they want $4 in return. So be thinking about that. If not, it's simply a donation. And you'll get some of that, but it's not going to be big, big money. Sponsors are the big profit. All these areas that we're talking about can be profit centers, but sponsors are the big one. So those are the top 10 revenue streams. Take a look at every one of them closely. And before I wrap up, I just want to remind some of you, maybe you don't know who we are and what we do, but we are the GTAA, and we are the Association for the Golf Tournament Industry. We've been doing this for over 30 years. And our job is simple. Our job is to help you put on the best golf tournament possible. So we have a lot of free information. Our membership is free. Our YouTube channel is free. Our blogs are free. We have a Spotify podcast. They're all free. So it's free information. Now, if you want to take your event to the next level, we offer event planning. We offer coaching. We have every book you're ever going to need: how to produce a golf tournament, books, games and contests, night golfathon manual, everything you need on that. So we're here to help you. If you want to get certified, we have a more in-depth program where you can get certified with that. Now, I always like to offer a bonus idea, especially for those of you who stuck with me. And the bonus idea is very simple, and it's simply called bundling. So I want to encourage you to think about this. Instead of trying to nickel and dime all of your golfers throughout the tournament, $5 here, $10 here, think about how you can bundle it. I like to see what we call a super ticket, which simply bundles the putting contest, the raffles, the mulligans, put them all in a package. Maybe it's 40, 50 bucks. You sell that online, you sell that at registration, and now everyone buys in. Versus trying to get $5 here, $10 here, it's a nightmare. So think about bundling, and you're going to get a lot farther and make a lot more money. So I want to just wrap up by saying a couple things. First of all, if you've chosen to do a golf tournament, congratulations. If you're just getting started, we have tons of videos that can help you on the YouTube channel. Email us anytime, about anything. We can help you with any question you've got. We've got trained consultants around the country, or we can help you, obviously, from here. But set the foundation for your golf tournament. Make sure everything's set in line, your board, your committee, your website, your nonprofit status. Make sure that your promotion and marketing is set, your social media, your database, all your connections are working on your website. Make sure that you have high visibility. You do all these things, and I guarantee it, you're going to be able to maximize the income with these 10 ways. Hey, we appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Good luck, and stay in touch. Let us know how your tournament did. Thanks, and have a great weekend.